freaking awesome live for everybody. Nick will be joining shortly, and he'll be on in a couple of minutes. And make sure you guys have questions ready, bro. I mean, really good kid, somebody I've worked with for a very, very long time. Literally 2.5 years here in Orlando before he moved to Europe, and he's going to be on in a moment, and we're going to just kind of talk about this whole thing, bro. We're going to build this thing and make it happen. And we want to educate you guys on what this looks like, what it's about, and his process, man, and really just kind of explaining the difference between the United States and Europe from his perspective. So you guys are going to get that shortly. Nick will be on momentarily. Anybody got any questions, man? Questions? Anybody? Questions? Throw them in now before he comes on. They can be about him or about Europe or about the process. He's on a team that is completely free. It's a pro academy, and just trying to make it happen. So let's see here. Question first from Rings. Should I DM you about getting info on being a college scout? Yeah, shoot me a DM, bro. No problem. Much respect for pushing the positive reinforcement method. Just trying to listen. The thing is, just tell the truth. 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 Everybody's lying to everybody. I don't know why, and it's crazy. So let's see. What up, guys? What up? What up? What up? And let's see, man. Let's see. What's the deal, bro? What's the deal? How is this person, man? You're gonna find out shortly when he jumps on. Give him a second. He'll be here shortly, so don't worry about that. And a couple of things too before he actually gets in here. One, I am having a giveaway. I'm gonna explain very quickly how to do that or what you want to do. I'm giving away stuff completely free. I have online courses 100% free that I'm giving away that you guys can have. And the hashtag to earn it is done by Sunday is hashtag. I'm going to write it in the comment as well. Youth Soccer is Spit. I'm giving away 5 copies of either my college recruiting course, of my mental development course, and my it's called the pro development course, like the pro plan. Like, how do you start building the internal divider and stuff to be ready, okay? So if you guys want to do that, I'm going to put in there. This is the hashtag you need. It's coming right now. Hashtag Youth Soccer is Spit. And you need to be posting that in my reels. So the stuff that I'm posting in my reels, you need to add that and make a comment. Hashtag Youth Soccer is Spit. That way I know you're paying attention, okay? What is the best way to tell your kids it's a marathon, not a race when it comes to development? Once you figure that out, bro, let me know. So you need to put Youth Soccer is Spit on my reels. And I'm going to select 5 people at most to win one of my free courses. You can pick whichever one you want. And you have access completely free, and they're $300 to $500. So cool. So Nick, man, let me know when you get in here so I can add you in and we can do this call, bro, so I can get you invited in. It's going to be a good conversation. And I hope it'll be mind-blowing for a lot of people of what's going on, man. What's going on in the real world. So, what's up, Sammy? My dog. So you can post it here in the comments for the live chat, but I want it in the reels. So the reels that I'm posting, you can go to previous reels, hashtag Youth Soccer is Spit. That means I know you're paying attention. Like, comment, and share my reels, hashtag Youth Soccer is Spit. You could put them in the stories, and then you guys will be getting, I'll be giving away 5 copies. So, and then any questions, man, I'll be giving stuff away. I'm trying to help as much as I can, give people access to stuff, and we make it happen. What's the best way to deal with privileged parents? Bro, that is the hardest thing. I say tell the truth. They may not like it, but at least you feel good about yourself and you don't feel bad that you lied to them, because I feel like that's what everybody does. They just lie. So that's it, man. That's it. So I wanted to get in a couple of minutes. I'm super excited. Nick will be here momentarily, man, and we're going to be talking about it. So, again, remember, he's a kid, bro. He's only 15 years old. He's only 15, so, understand that he might not have everything, and just let him explain his process and whatnot, okay? Issa, my dog, to the bane. What up? What about the pathway for 17 to 21-year-olds? How can I get them on the radar? How can you get them on the radar? Well, really, it's a really open-ended question. Where does he play now? That's a big age range, obviously, so that's hard. Your thoughts on clubs that have 4 to 5 teams per age group? Man, that's, well, it depends. I was going to say a cash cow, but it might not be a cash cow. It just depends. Are they developing? I mean, that's the honest thing. I mean, I don't have a problem with teams having or clubs having thousands of kids. But my problem is when they don't develop them. That is my problem. So that's my thing. I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. That's the problem. I don't enjoy it, and it's a huge thing I don't enjoy at all. So let me see here. 1 second, guys. Hold on. Buy free stuff or to get access to my programming. So, and I got a couple other people that we're going to be doing lives with. One of them should be Kai, who just joined in here as well. He plays in Europe at the same time. Hopefully Inti as well, which you guys will learn later. So it's all coming, man. It's all coming together. Is there a high school scholarship program for kids from the Dominican Republic? There's absolutely scholarships for kids like that. No problem. What do you think of coaches making 6 figures and DOCs making 300K? Yeah. Well, I don't even know what you want me to say. I mean, it's a cash cow. The whole thing is a cash cow. I got a few USL A kids, but what are your thoughts on USL versus UPSL or MPSL? What USL? What USL, my dog? And then let's see here. They don't develop, and then the shiny kid comes in and takes a spot, and they don't develop them either, but they use them as dogs. Yeah, they do. Yep, they definitely do. What is it? A family new? It says Nick was unable to join. Let me try again. Hold on. We gotta fix that, lads. Gonna fix that. Hold on, trying to get Nick back in here, folks. Hold on. It said he was not able to join, so give him 1 second. He's now ready to go. USL 2. Well, USL 2 is only a summer league, right? So, yeah, summer league. But that's the thing, man. Told by a coach that winning is more important than development, but no real alternatives in my area. Mazzy, I'm sure there is something somewhere. You need to find a coach. That is the key thing. Find a coach. Stop worrying about the club you play for. Find a coach. How is development measured from where you're from? Is it players going to college, pro, or certain? No, there is no development structure for kids in my area, to be completely honest with you. It doesn't exist, to be honest. That's my opinion. So let's see. Is Nick finally here? We can get him in? Yes. There we go. Hold on. Hopefully getting him accepted in. Just trying to fix it. Accept. We are having some technical difficulties making this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Hold on. It says accept. I don't know if it's going through, though. Hold on, man. He's here. We just trying to get him in. That's the problem here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there he is. Just trying to get it all set up connection-wise. My dog, Nick.
Yeah, I'm good, of course.
What's going on, bro? You all right? Living the dream? There we go. So listen, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day. I'm sure it's late. What time is it over for you by now? So it's 9. So it's late, guys. So he's got to go to bed shortly. He's on the track to become a pro. So that's the idea with it. So listen. So guys, everybody that's here listening, we got over 100 people here. We're going to be talking about. I put out in my story the topics of conversation. Yeah, and again, remember, Nick is a kid. He's an 07, so you're still 15, right? You don't turn 16 yet. So he's still 15. I'll give a little bit of background on him, and then obviously I'll let him explain some of the things. And he's a 2007 birth year. So I've known Nick since he was 9 years old, and he played at different clubs in Orlando. Was very small actually for his age.
When I first
and then actually started growing a lot. Really, probably the last year and a half, Nick. Yeah. So. Yeah, young kid, bro. Very small. Actually, what I'll do is on my story, I'll share a picture so you guys can see what he looked like when he was 9. And you guys will be like, what? Same kid? It's shocking because I haven't seen him. Actually, I saw you last summer. Yeah, but I haven't seen you since you left at 12. And I was like, holy shit, he's a grown man now. So it's funny. So, but yeah, so he was here. He went to Cyprus, or really Europe, at 12, did a tournament, got invited into a full-time academy. So yeah, you'll see that. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. So, Nick, if there's anything you want to add to this, please feel free to do so. And it's all about just having conversation and just trying to. Really, what I want to do is educate people on what you have to go through on a daily basis being in a pro academy. So that's the thing. So really, let's start about training, because I think people don't understand the value of how much training you have to do to where you got to, or where you're at now. Right. So can you explain, when you were here, the type of training you were doing, what you were doing, and how
Well,
often, so people
when I was in
understand, like when you were
America,
9, 10, 11, and whatnot.
I did a lot of training with you. I would wake up really early in the morning at like
Yeah.
6 or 6:30 before school, and we would go out and train for an hour and a
Yeah.
half, just doing like technical stuff and one-on-ones and things like that. And I would do training with my team, and also
Yep.
because I also started doing online school, so I had more time to actually play by myself. So I would train a lot by myself as well.
And so right there, guys, I really want to highlight, 2 points that he said. One, did a lot of training with
Yeah,
a skilled coach, somebody that knew how to do the right things, which in this case was me, thankfully. And then two,
yeah, yeah.
two other things
On the
really
computer.
important. He did homeschool or virtual school, correct? It was virtual school. Yeah, so he was doing virtual school. So he wasn't going to actual
Yeah, because
school. He was
there wasn't
able to do
actually
his schoolwork in
teachers. I
what,
could
3 hours, right?
finish
If I remember
as
correctly.
fast as I wanted.
Yeah. So he could do it in 2 to 3 hours and do the entire day of school, which would take a
Yeah,
normal student in a normal school 6, 7, 8 hours. Okay, so it adds up, man. It really does make a difference. So, and then the final piece of that is, and I hope you guys paid attention to this, he did hours of training on his own. And I really feel like this is something that is missed out on with kids here is everybody says, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do that. But they don't have the desire. And this is something that I really attest to you, Nick.
yeah.
It's great. Is that
No,
you
because
wanted
no,
to get
it
better.
takes a
And you
lot
did
of
it on
a
your
lot
own
of
all the time.
work by yourself and a lot of discipline. You have to want to work by yourself too, and you have to be able to make the time to work by yourself.
Yeah. And so talking about that, what was it for you as a kid at 9 years old or 10 years old or 11-year old where you were like, you know what? I really want
Uh,
to do this. Like
well,
what in your
it's just
mind, what set
because
this apart for you?
I love that. I love playing it a lot, and it really made me happy. And whenever I played, I kind of forgot everything, and I enjoyed myself, and also I like the fact that I could like
Yeah.
encourage kids younger than me. Like I could be a role model for kids younger than me to actually want to get better too. Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it? So like the thing for everybody to understand is, again, he's a 15-year-old kid. I've known him since he was 9 years old. He was very small, and he'll probably tell you too some point in this video, like his level when we first got him wasn't super
Yeah,
high,
yeah.
but he had work ethic. Correct, Nick? Yeah, and that's something that you can't teach. Like a kid either has it or he doesn't have it, and this is something that people need to understand. And this is one of my next videos actually that I'm going to post on Reels. Is it doesn't, especially in this country, you can kind of throw money at no matter what you want. You can throw thousands, millions of dollars at
Yeah.
something, but if the kid does
Yeah,
not have the
you have
desire to improve and
you have
want to
to
work hard,
actually want
correct?
to do what you're doing. You can't just do it for someone else or your parents, because you're not actually gonna do it 100%, and in the end you're not gonna be as happy as you would be if you wanted to, actually wanted to do it.
And then speaking on that note where you said, doing it for yourself, were there times or how often, and this is something I'll add too, but I want to get your opinion. How often did your mom and dad have to tell
Yeah,
you, hey,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you mentioned that you and me used to train 4 days a week in the morning at 6:30 a.m. How many times did your
Never
mom or dad have to
actually.
say,
I
hey,
would
let's
I
go,
would
bro, you got to go to practice
they
this
would be
morning?
the ones to wake me up, but I would always I would always wake up really fast and actually want to go to training, and I would always wake up very quickly, and I would be the one
Yeah.
actually to tell my dad to go to the field next to our house and train and do shooting and stuff like that, and I would also do ball mastery by myself and stuff like that.
Yeah. Crazy, guys. So, like, we just to reemphasize this, we would train. I had a group of kids. I posted this before on my story that we would do 6:30 in the morning training. And Nick saying his mom and dad was not the one getting him up. And you know how hard it is even today. Like sometimes it's hard for kids just to get up and get their day moving, just to go to school. And it's hard, but you know, if you want to do it, you're going to buy into doing it. That's the thing that I think people don't get is,
Yeah.
again, you can push your kid, but you can't want it more than the kid. If you want it more than your son or daughter, it's over, guys. Like, you need to want it more than them.
Mhm.
So next question, Nick, and this will relate back to desires, okay? Talk about your diet
Well,
and nutrition.
my parents
I want
also helped me a lot
people
with
to
this,
understand
but
this.
I try to eat
Yeah.
as good of food as possible at home and when I go out and stuff like that. And
Right.
I eat a lot of fruits and stuff at home. And yeah, I try to stay away from bad food like junk
Yeah.
food and stuff like that. And I don't eat at fast food restaurants like McDonald's and stuff like that.
What? You're telling me a high-level
Yeah.
athlete can't eat
I've
freaking
never eaten
McDonald's?
McDonald's actually.
You guys heard that. He's never eaten McDonald's. So, and I will say, Nick, I think this has helped you grow physically because, guys, I know a lot of you, I can see a lot of your comments are like, well, there's no way he's 15. I'm telling you guys, I've known him since he was 9 years old. He's now 15, so I've known him for 7 years, or almost 7 years because he's going to be 16 shortly. And he was tiny, but his parents always emphasized eating clean and healthy food. Were they perfect? No, but they always emphasized eating well. And when you eat well and you take care of your body, you obviously encourage it to grow. So I think that makes a huge difference, and you know, adds to physical development a lot. And then talking about physical development, Nick, you know, do you do physical training now? Like, is it plyometrics? Is it core? Like,
we do a lot
do you
of
do
gym.
stuff like that?
We have programs at Abuel, and we do gym before training. And we also have one day at school where we do gym in the morning.
Yeah.
And I sometimes, when I can,
Right.
sometimes I do at home, but before bed and stuff like that. And this summer, I'm gonna start. Yeah. We haven't focused on plyometrics and stuff like that, but this summer I'm going to go to this one guy and start doing stuff like that, so I can get my agility and stuff like that better.
Right. It's hard, man. I mean, it's, but you know, he highlighted, he does his own physical work as well, and they have physical training, and that's really important. So let's talk about Europe for a second, right? So you've been in Apoel now for 2.5 years, going on 3 years. 3 years now, right? Okay. So what is it like playing in a professional academy?
It's a lot different than just playing in like a normal like academy in America, because like there are a lot of academies in America where you just play tournaments and stuff like that, and not really focus on like developing players and stuff like that. But when I was smaller in Abuel, like in younger ages, they would focus more on like technique and stuff like that, other than like winning and completing and doing tournaments and things like that. So they would focus on really developing the kids so they could play at a higher level later on.
Yeah.
And now we're focusing more on winning and doing stuff that's like more tactical and position like focusing on precision specific things. Yeah.
Specific. So guys, I see a couple of your questions coming in. Will Nick answer some questions? Yes. Let me get through the questions that I have. So stay towards the end, and then he can answer some specific questions that you guys have in regards to whatever you want to ask, really, and he can help answer it, or I can help him answer it. So not a problem. So Nick, so I think that's really interesting what you said, and I think that's missed upon here, because you said like the focus of training when you were there primarily, or when you first got there, was development. Right. And now you're saying, hey, we're at a certain age now where it's transitioned to winning. And guys, I got to say, this is the same thing that I've been saying. We're too stuck in this country of we need to win now. We need to win now. But let me ask you, Nick, how many teams in Cyprus or in Europe that you've played against, because you've played against multiple teams around Europe, do play like
here,
you've seen
like,
it in this country,
like at least
kick the ball.
Almost all of the teams like try to play more possession game and on the floor. Like, of course, there are some teams that that aren't as
Yeah.
like technically good, and they have to play long balls, but it's a lot more like controlled, and teams
Yeah.
actually try to play on the floor, which results in like a better game and better technique and stuff like that. But yeah, there's not really a lot
Right.
of kickball and stuff like that here.
Yeah. So you guys see, right? And that's the thing that I'm advocating for. So, and just to be
Yeah.
clear for everybody, there's a difference between kickball and long ball. So kickball is when a team continuously slams the ball down the field, and they're just like, for example, the goalie
Yeah,
gives
no,
it to
it's more
the right center back, the number 4, and
controlled.
he's
Like
just
they
plugging the
they
ball along
try
the
and get
entire
it
time.
to
We
like
call it boom.
the space
Yeah.
where a winger can run through, or try and get it to the striker or something like that. Like it's not really just
Yeah.
randomly kicking the ball just because you're afraid you're gonna lose it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you guys can see they have possession. There's a lot of possession, and teams try to play possession, and there's teams that try to play what we call direct, which is different than kickball. Direct is, to Nick's point, you are trying to find a run. You're trying to hit the number 9 and play the
Mhm.
target ball. Play first ball, second ball, and that's slightly different than playing kickball. Okay, so that's really important. So, Nick, can you kind of explain, like,
Yeah.
again, you went over to Cyprus and played with Apwell at 12. What and one of the things that me and your mom, dad, you have talked about is the level difference. What was the level difference, even at 12 years old, that you saw
They were playing a
when you
lot
went over there the first time?
faster, and and more of the kids on the team, like almost all of the team actually like had a good technical ability to be able to play at higher speeds and a higher level,
Yeah,
and also a lot of most of the kids here actually, like they also have like the same love for football that I do and other people do, so they try harder, and they actually work to reach a goal, and not just to be playing just so they could get exercise
yeah,
and for your parents and things like that.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so most of them, if not all of them, have the goal of wanting to become a pro. Yeah. Okay. So and that's the difference, guys. So like levels obviously different. The key word he said was
Yeah.
speed. So correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. I mean, we have a lot of good technical players here in the United States, but we don't have the same level of
Yeah, of
intensity and
course.
speed that, say, Applewell does, the academy. So what do you think that is? Is it the seriousness of the players? Is it the organizations? Like, for example, Applewell
Yeah.
has an academy, and then they have a first team. So their goal is to develop kids, hopefully, to be pros. Do you think it's a mix of that? Like, from your perspective, living it day to day
Mm-hmm.
and going through the
No,
jump from
this
USU soccer
what
to
this one guy
what do you
said, that
think?
they have
What do
more
you think it is?
passion in the chat, which is right. They actually go there because they want to play, and they give a lot of like they give their all in training and stuff like that to get better, and they actually they want to win, even in training, like not only in games and stuff. Like they really want to win, and they'll work hard in training and stuff like that to be able to win. Crap.
Right. Yeah, that makes a difference. And so let's look at it this way, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we can agree upon, Nick, that we think everybody that's in the
Yeah.
system from an Applewell Academy, they all have a good base level, correct? So do you think you would have been recruited, and recruited is not the right word, do you
No,
think you would have been
probably not.
accepted into
Because like
Applewell if you did not
if
have the
I had
skill?
enough worked like for 2 years, however I worked with you on my technical ability and stuff, I don't think I would be able
Yeah.
to come in here and live and be able to keep up with the speed.
Okay. All right, so let's do this, Nick. I want to pause it because there's a bunch of people asking questions. Guys, I want to leave it open for you right now. If you want to throw some questions at Nick, please do. You can throw them in right now. Ask a question, and we'll see if we can get some answers from him, because there might be some good questions. And then, again, I know a lot of his situation, and I can help answer some of them as well. So, again, I've known Nick since he was 9 years old, man. So it's been a long journey, and I'm very proud of what he's been doing. So I had some people asking questions. Then throw your questions in here for Nick, man. Let's see what we got. Questions. Come on, you guys are asking for questions. There's a little delay between us and them. So let's see here. So Carly said, but how? How do you get into
No,
European soccer? Or was this following a
because I
family
also
move?
had I was part from here, so I had been coming here for a while in the summers and stuff like that, and I had gone to a summer camp where one of the coaches at Abuel was there, and they saw me and they thought that I was good, and they told me I could come to train a little bit and saw how I like it, and if I wanted I could come and move here. So it also helps to have, like, because I'm also from Cyprus and I have a different nationality. But yeah, other than that, you just have to work hard and hope for the best.
So to help answer, again, you
Hmm.
guys remember he's young. He's 15 years old. So he has dual citizenship. His
I was
family is
born
from
here.
Cyprus. You were born there or you were born in the States? I don't remember. Okay. So
Yeah.
he was born there. And so you obviously have a direct connection to being able to do that again. So,
Hmm.
it's obviously helpful, guys. Like, don't get me wrong, but he lived in the U.S. for many years. So it's not like he just got the opportunity. They went over there for a trip. They had a coach that saw him. They made the recommendation for a trial. They did a trial's not even the right word, an
Yeah.
experience. Did the experience, and then the family made a commitment and moved. And then after that, they said, hey, since you
Hmm.
moved here, you can be invited to the academy. And that's how that essentially worked out. So
It's a
Saad
lot
asked Nick,
because
how challenging is the
like
mental part of the game?
as you get older as well, there's a lot more stuff that happens in the football world. So you have to develop a lot of mental strength and stuff like that to be able to not let things affect you, like negativity from like or from like other coaches or players, like on the field or stuff, or even outside of the field. But it at some points it can get hard, but you have to learn how to overcome that, the the that whatever people are saying. Yeah, fight through it.
You got to fight through it. Got to fight through it. Tiago asked a great question, Nick. This is awesome. When are you coming
Hopefully in
back
the
to
summer
Orlando to
again,
train at
like
Ice Soccer Arena?
maybe July. That'll be
Boom. There we go. So hopefully, Tiago, July. Okay, so
yeah.
Landon asked, how do you get to make it part of a European academy? So I think we
Hmm.
answered that, Landon. One, it's really connections. You have to be connected. Two, I don't want to say loopholes, but there are ways to get into it, which we can discuss later. So if you want to know, Landon, just shoot me a DM or whatever, we can chat. Is going international the best route to go when trying to go pro instead of focusing on U.S.? My daughter just played in Spain and it was life changing for her. So Nick, she's asking, is
Yeah.
international, based on your experience right now, the best route to go?
If you
Or
are actually very dedicated and you want it to be your job, basically, when you get older and you have the worth ethic, I think it's a lot better option to go international than to stay in US, because there'll be a lot more help in international, because in my experiences they're lot more helpful with development and being able to reach a higher level. So yeah, I think it'd be better going international.
so, and let's add to this, right? What you guys got to remember is for most organizations that are international. So again, using his club, Apwell, they have a youth academy and they have a pro team. So it'd be like the MLS right now. They have
Hmm.
their pro team and they have a B team usually, and then they have their academy. So the job of the academy is to develop players for the first team. Most organizations in the United States, some cash cows, they're not designed to develop players for the next level, pro, whatever. So that's what Nick is highlighting on, is that with their club, the goal is to develop kids for the first team. That's the idea. They're going to be a selling club. Okay, so let's see. Since you've been to Europe, do youth players train
Uh,
every day, or are
no,
they
I
just free
mean
play
that
on the
we
streets? It's
have
a good question.
some fields around that a lot of people I know go and play. There's not many people that play on the streets and stuff like that. But Uh, yeah, all of them. I'm pretty sure train every day and also on their own. Like I know many people that train on their own because they want to go pro. But they train a lot of like more kids I know train a lot more every day than they would in America.
Right, right. So let's see.
I have
Next
one
question.
brother.
Somebody asked, how many brothers does Nicholas have? One brother. There we go. Let's see. So
Uh,
somebody asked, how many hours a day do you train, Nicholas?
well, I I do training at school in the morning, which is an hour. 2 days I train in the school at the morning, which is an hour, and then I train in the afternoon, which is an hour and a half to 2 hours, and also at home at nighttime or whenever I have time, I try and do some ball mastery by myself, just so I can continue and getting better at that and not not forget it all, so I can keep working on my technique because you can always get better. Hmm.
Always stay sharp. Yep. So somebody asked, what would your morning sessions look like when you were back in the States? So I
Yeah.
can answer that question because I was the guy running them outside of the individual practices Nick did on his own. So what we did was, and I'm sharing very secret insider information, really important. Don't tell nobody. Okay, but we did an hour and a half practice, 4 days a week, and 80% of it was individual technical skills. And then what we did was, after working on the individual technical skills, and Nick can attest to this, that we tried to make is that we could also incorporate the game realism. So it
Hmm.
wasn't just like, hey, you're doing work through
Yeah.
cones the whole time. Were there sometimes we did work through cones? Yes, there was. But a lot of the stuff we did, you could also center it around back to the game. How could we apply these things back to a game? And then what we did was,
Hmm.
for the last 20 minutes, we would then implement what we were practicing: one-on-ones, 2v2s, 2v1s, and that was it.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
for two and a half
Yeah,
years.
we did a lot of the
Literally,
same things, but
rinse
that's
and
what helped
repeat for
me
2.5
today.
years. So this is a good question. Somebody asked, if you have to compare U.S. soccer to where you're playing now, what's the biggest difference you
Hmm.
see with training, games, and even coaching? Now, I do want to add one thing, Nick, because not everybody knows this. You played almost every level here in the United States. So you played, local
Yeah.
club, you played travel ball, and then you even played in the DA before it was MLS. So let's use the comparison of the DA, I guess, to Appwell.
Hmm.
Was like you're obviously you were there a little bit different times, but how was the training
Uh,
environment at the DA
well,
level compared
at
to
DA,
Applewell?
um, a lot of the training was just like with the whole team kind of. So like there wasn't really any times or trainings where things were like focused on. It was kind of just like here and there, which some things that wouldn't help um like some people like that would play in a different position or things like that. And also here I think the relationships between all of the coaches and stuff like that is better because and like the people the coaches and the staff in America, I don't think that they actually care as much to make the player better and to develop them and help them with whenever if they're hurt or something like that. But they rather just get the money from them playing and stuff like that. I think more here they care about developing the player than more than just the job of being a coach and yeah, they're more passionate here about getting the player to a higher level.
Well, again, you guys got to remember, right? The goal
Hmm.
of his club is to develop kids to be on the first team. Again, most organizations here in the United
Yeah.
States, they don't have that except for the MLS academies. There might be a couple USL teams that have a
Hmm.
similar idea, but again, it's not everybody, and in fact, it's less than 1%. So those are things that people need to be mindful of. So let's see what else. Somebody asked, good question again, how do you deal with not being selected or not being first choice all the time? And this is a good
Yeah.
question because this is something you've had to deal with your club, as an example. or even with the national team, which we haven't really talked about yet. But it's good for you to kind of express how you feel about when you're not selected
the only
and
way
how you have to
that
deal with that.
you should, and which I've been working on, which I'm pretty good at it now. But like you have to really not care that you've not been called or chosen first for something, and you have to not really say much. You just keep working as hard as you can, and keep thinking about your goals, and keep trying to get better than you are now, and be and in the next call up, or the next time someone's going to choose you, or you just have to be even better than you were, so there you have a better chance of being called. So it goes back to the mental strength,
And
that you have to not let that get you down, and stop working because you weren't chosen first or something like that. You just have to keep working on everything, on your technical ability, and get every aspect of your game better, so you can have a better chance of actually being called up next time.
And the only thing I'll add on top of what Nick said, and I think this is what he's trying to say, he just didn't say it in that way, is you have,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you don't get accepted, or you get rejected, or don't get called up, or you get dropped for a game. You got two options. You can either sulk and complain, or when you either
Yeah.
go in, or the next time you have the chance to train or the game or whatever, prove the coach wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This game, what people don't understand, this is a game of opinions, options, and decisions. So as a coach, I'm a coach, I have options. And I have to make decisions based on what I feel is the best decision for the team at that time in the moment. And I might not think it's you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong when you go in, or when the next time you have, prove me wrong, or quit and do whatever. So there you go. There's one. Next question. This is a good one as well. Does it make
Yeah,
sense for youth
because
players to master
each
multiple
position
positions?
on the field needs different aspects to be really good of their game. Like, for example, being a right or left back, you have to be very good with one foot and be able to cross the ball, and you have to have really good endurance to be able to run up and down and make those runs with that you need to. And for other positions, you might have other aspects different than
Yeah.
crossing and endurance and stuff like that. That would be really good if you had those better too. So if you play multiple positions when you're a kid, you can develop all of aspects of your game, which will make you even better player than just being able to do one thing.
It's a great answer. And I'll add this too, because Nick didn't talk about it. When he was in the United States, he played
Mm-hmm.
usually center
I'll play
mid,
something.
wing, or forward, correct? Okay. And center back sometimes. So he played almost every position on the field already. Now talk about briefly your time at Applewell, like
Even
especially
now, I
now
play
as
two
a
different
U16,
positions, but
U17. What
because
position
they're
are you playing?
focusing more position-wise on developing a player for that one position and getting the best aspects out of the player. But right now, I play a six normally, and if someone's hurt or they need me, I'll play center back as well.
So boom. So in the United States, he played a lot of positions, and then now he's being trained to play as a six and also as a center back. That's very important. So next question is, how is it playing in Cyprus
Hello.
level and
Yeah,
coaches?
that's what I
Say
was gonna
hello,
say.
Pana, please.
He's one of my friends. Hello, Panay. Um. Well, here we
That's
also
funny.
that's different from a lot of teams in the U.S. is that we have like many different coaches for different parts of the training. Like we have a goalie coach, and we have our normal coach.
Yeah.
We have our coach for the gym. We have our physio. We have and so yeah. So basically, our normal coach doesn't really do like the warm up with us and stuff like that. And the goalies are working separately from us. And yeah, which is a lot more organized and helpful.
That's a great point, because here in the United
Yeah.
States, like, we usually have one coach for one
Mhm.
team, and he's got to warm up the kids, he's got to warm up the starters, he's got to warm up the bench, he's got to warm up the goalie, he's got to prepare everything, and it's very
Yeah.
hard. So it definitely makes a difference. And when you can do that, again, they're trying to develop first team players. So next question, I just think I missed it. Where'd it go?
To play
Somebody asked, what is your
professionally
ultimate goal?
in one of the top 5 leagues, I would be really happy to play in at such a high level and be watched by so many people.
There you go. This is another good question.
Oh,
What does
we
your
also
rest
we do
and
those
recovery
with
days
the
look like?
team with our gym guy. We on Mondays, for example, because we play games on Saturdays. On Mondays, we'll normally have in the gym we'll do upper body, and also before we'll do some stretching, and we'll get on the bikes, and we'll do some biking and stretching and mobility and stuff like that, so we can recover good and not get hurt.
Right. Yeah, that makes a difference. It's all about recovery because, again, they're trying to prepare
Mm-hmm.
players to be pro. Somebody asked the question: is the school included with the academy, or does school allow flexibility for training?
No, it's not really
So
connected to
go ahead,
our
Nick. Go answer
academy,
that.
but most of the schools in Cyprus have an athletic school where we train in the morning and miss a few lessons, which helps develop our technical ability and stuff like that. And yeah.
That's a funny question. I can't answer this, but I'm going to read it because it's funny to me. What soccer affiliations do you find to be nothing more than cash cows? In other words, a waste of time and money. We're not going to answer that, but that's a funny one. Send me a DM and I can talk to you. Let's see. Any other questions real quick before we get back into the main topics of conversation? The question is, were you always top of the pack here in the States? That's a
Actually,
good question.
no, not always. Whenever I would go to a new team, or I would go to a team that's like said to be like a higher level, what I would always do, because I wouldn't go there and I wouldn't be the best player always, but what I would do is I would pick out who I thought was the best player, and I would work my butt off to try and be better than him, and when I would do that, then I think I would be the best. Yeah.
And that's motivation right there. So, question that somebody said for me, I'm getting way too much stuff going on. I can't read. Okay, so what are your thoughts on having 5 teams from a club in one specific age group? I did talk about this a little bit, but to give you the quick thing, like if you're cash cowing it, it's a problem. If you're developing, it's not terrible, just because, again, that's the model that we have. If you're developing, but most places aren't doing that. So if you're giving kids development, then I can't
Hmm.
argue too much. But, if you're not, then obviously it's a huge problem, and most people aren't. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's a question. I can answer this one. Should high school take priority over club academy? My son will be entering high school in the fall. Um, Listen, Giorgito, I'm going to tell you the truth. I've talked to Division I college coaches. It really depends on your goal, but he said to me, as an example, 15 years at the Division I level. If you tell a D1 coach that you do high school, you are not serious. So take that for what it's worth. All right, let's see here. Any other questions that we can answer before we get back to the main part? Nope, we've already answered that. Somebody asked, "Are you homesick? How does that feeling fuel you to get
Not
ahead in this
really,
country?
because
You have it all."
I
So
used
he's
to
talking about
live
being in the
here.
United
Well,
States.
I was born here, and also I would come every summer, so I was used to being here. But I guess at the beginning, when I first came here, and I was here with just my mom, and my dad was in America, uh, I think what like yeah, I felt a little bit homesick because my dad wasn't here, I wasn't with my brothers and sisters and stuff like that. But also, I just focused on football, and the reason I was there, and working harder just kind of would just made it easier. Playing football made it easier to be more by myself.
Yeah. So people are asking me, hey, can I post this later? So I post every single one of these lives that I do in my subscribed area. They're just sitting there because I don't want them on my main page. There's too much. It's way too long and it's too convoluted. So if you want to find the stuff, it's in my subscribed area. And every single live that I have, it's there. And you can see them all, okay? Somebody asked, is high soccer prospects still doing tryouts? Tryouts, we're not calling them tryouts, but our tryout officially ended. But if you want, send me a DM and we can get you looked at. Not a problem. Okay. So those are pretty much the main questions. Nick, I do have one or two more things I want to discuss with you before you jump off, and I don't want to take too much more of your time. You got to go to sleep and get ready for your next day. So let's quickly talk about, not, a lot of people don't know this, but you play for the Cyprus youth national team. So can you talk about it a little bit? What is it like as a kid representing your country?
It's
even though
obviously
it's youth,
great.
how does that feel? What is it like?
I love representing my country, and playing games with them and stuff like that, and training just makes me really happy knowing that I'm one of the best in my country, and also I can wear the patch of my country on my shirt and represent them, and it just makes me feel really good that I can play football and also actually play football for my whole country.
So he's a guy that's played for the national team of Cyprus, represented him at different events, even as captain a couple of times, right? Yeah. So again, it's on a path of doing the right thing. So
It's
what does
obviously
training for
harder
the national team
than
look like?
normal training, because it's the best players in Cyprus, and yeah, they're very intense, and a lot of endurance is needed because there's a lot of running, and there's not really there's the breaks are very fast, so we don't get that much rest, and you have to all of the you even the play is faster, like the ball moves a lot faster, and you have to think a lot faster at national team, and there's also the seriousness to it is a lot more than it would be at just normal academy trainings.
Yeah. And that's a fair point, guys. You got to remember, when you play on the national team, you're getting usually the best players, or some of the best players, if not all of them, to come together. So it's very competitive. And this is a question, Nick, I have for you, because I think this is something that's really undervalued in this country, in the United States, and you've been a part of it, is the physicality side of the game. How physical is it, one, with the national team, because you're representing your country, so when you play other national teams, or even when you're playing against other clubs?
Well, some
how
of the games,
physical are the
if we were to play against like a derby or something like that, like they would get physical, but normally our games aren't really that physical because the ball's moving so much faster, and not every player is very like big, has to be like big and strong, or tall or stuff like that. We have a lot of players who are small, but they're just good enough to play at higher speeds, and they have the technical ability to be able to play faster and get away from pressure and stuff like that. Yeah.
It makes
Exactly.
a difference. Well, and I think the key you said is the speed. They have the speed to not get hit. But
yeah, but
if there is contact,
it's physical
game,
to an extent. Like there's not any like really bad like fouls and stuff like that. Like it's physical. Yeah, it's a good fit. It's a good physicality.
Yeah, nobody's trying to purposely hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's what the game requires.
No.
Yeah. So nobody's coming in there to try and hurt somebody. You're there to play physical to win the game. Yeah. Okay. So somebody asked, Coach Kyle, how do you feel seeing Nick developing and taking steps forward to achieving his goals? Really good question. So again, you guys got to remember, I've known Nick since he's 9 years old, and that's when I picked him up the first time. And again, he'll tell you the same thing. He wasn't super skilled, but he had work ethic. And when you have work ethic, bro, anything's possible. And that's what I tell people. Like, you can throw whatever amount of money you want at something, but you can't expect the coach or the parent to force the kid to do it. The kid has to want to do it. So I'm very proud of Nick. I hope he can continue to reach his goals, and I'm obviously going to help him any chance I can to do that. So we're always in contact and trying to do things that we can. Somebody asked, my daughter is 8 and plays against boys. She struggles physically. How can she improve that? That's a really open-ended question. You're going to have to give me way more information before I can even answer that. So shoot me a DM, and I'll try to do the best that I can to answer that. So any final questions, guys, that anybody has that I can, myself or Nick, answer? That's pretty much all of my questions, Nick, to be honest. Well, I do have one more, which will kind of end it all. In your opinion, what separates the average player that's not in a professional academy like yourself and
I
a
think
player like
one of the
yourself in a
one of the
professional
biggest
academy? What do you think it
aspects is how serious they are, and their work ethic and stuff like that. Because I think that even some players that maybe don't have that much of a technical ability, but their work ethic is really high, and they're very serious, and they actually want to be there, and they show that they want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would respect that a lot more than somebody who had a good technical ability and didn't actually want to be there and didn't really care about like what time they slept or the food they're eating and stuff like that. So I think seriousness is one of the biggest problems.
That's
Yeah,
funny, isn't it?
dedication
It's just
too.
seriousness, and obviously probably on top of that dedication. So yeah, I mean, because a lot of people, especially in this
Hmm.
country, I'll say it, they think that again they can throw a bunch of money at something
Yeah.
and that the kid will get something out of it. Well, it really depends on the kid wanting to be dedicated and serious. Because Nick, you can attest to this, and you said it
Yeah.
already. It's not your mom and dad forcing you to do this. This is your dream, so it's on you. Obviously, there are external factors that can
Hmm.
work in your favor or against you, but at least it's on you to make it happen for the most part. So that's what I think a lot of people don't understand and don't get. So, guys, any final questions? I don't want to keep Nick too long. I mean, it's past it. He's got to go to bed shortly. If he hasn't eaten dinner yet, he needs to get ready to go to bed and get ready for training and stuff tomorrow. So, any questions from anybody? Final questions? I know you guys are slightly delayed behind the video, but it'll be there. And then, again, reminder, all of my lives that I'm doing are all going to be in my subscribed area. So if you want them, go to the subscribed area and you can view every single live that we're doing. They're all going to be there. So if you need any of them, they're right there and you can grab them. At 14, my son is serious about the sport to the point that he wants to go outside the U.S. Should I expose his clips out there? Giorgito, send me a DM and we can talk a little bit about it.
Oh, I
So,
just started. My
Nick,
parents
how
had
did you
signed me
start
up to
playing
rec,
football?
and I was playing multiple different sports. I was playing basketball and baseball and stuff like that. But after the first time I played rec, I fell in love with it, and I just kept. I quit everything else, and I kept wanting to play football.
Let's keep it going. And then Sammy asks, what does your coach do to keep your
Well,
sessions
not
fun
every
and keep you
session is
engaged?
actually like fun. It's more just wanting to be there and wanting to do the drills that they give us so we can help ourselves as much as possible. And of course, we have a lot of trainings that are fun too, and he makes up games and stuff like that. But most of the time, it's just training to help us get better, not really for the fun of it.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good answer. So somebody asks, will you visit Cyprus, Coach Kyle? Yes, I am planning actually. Nick may or may not know this, but I am visiting to go to Cyprus. We're trying to work out some times and dates where I can go because I have not been there yet,
Yeah.
and I need to visit him and see how it's progressing and everything that's going on for him. So, good question. Next one. This might be the last two questions we have in terms of related to Nick, and I don't want to keep you much longer, Nick. So, actually, this one's not even related to you. So, guys, let's do this. I'm going to let Nick get off the call because he needs to go to bed and start getting ready for tomorrow. So, everybody say thank you to Nick.
Yeah.
Again, Nick, I really appreciate you taking your time to come on here for 45 plus minutes and talking with everybody, talking with me and sharing your insight. I think it's great. And it's really good for people to see like what you have gone through and what you're going through and the process you need to do to become a pro is great. So again, guys, drop like a thumbs up or something for Nick to say thank you for coming by. And I'm sure Nick will be back. Maybe I'll have his mom with him next time and they can
Mhm.
talk a little bit more in different ways. So it helps because it's
Yeah.
good to get both perspectives from a
I'm
parent
happy to
and the
I'm
player.
happy
So
to
again,
talk to
Nick,
you, and
thank you
thank
so
you for
much
having me.
and enjoy your.
And yeah.
No problem, bro. I'll see you soon. Hopefully, I'll see you in
Yeah,
July, and then hopefully, I'll
hopefully.
be going to see you in October or September. So see you guys later, man. So,
Okay.
and guys, I'll be on and I'll chat with you guys
Bye,
for a couple more minutes
Coach.
because there's a couple more
Bye.
questions and whatnot. Okay. See you, Nick.